We were looking for somewhere that was seriously disturbed. This was just a bare overgrazed pasture. We had 7 trees in 25 acres. We had 10 years of drought, which finished about 2 years ago. We were beyond brown. It had actually just gone grey, and there was just nothing growing. Everything just stopped and waited. And then the rain came and it's just all burst forth. What we've been doing is to try and live as simply and sustainably as we can, but to actually do it in a way where it still looks good. Because this is a slow garden and we're discovering things as in the process of making it. So we originally started making mud bricks for the house from the pile of dirt from the excavation, and as part of that we had to sieve it, and then we found that all the stone and shale that we were getting out of the sieving, like the waste from the sieving, we could actually use in the garden as a mulch and on the paths as a mulch. Then we found that we could also get finer material and actually use that in between the cracks in the paving. So it's turned out to be something that's been very useful, that just looked like a big pile of dirt.
This is the path to the veggie garden, and past the chooks that are busy going through some of the kitchen scraps at the moment. Most days I might wander through and do 5 or 10 minutes weeding and pick a few things. Occasionally at the weekends I'll spend half a day there, but it's surprising how much food you can grow with not spending a lot of time in there. I guess a lot of the time in the veggie garden is spent harvesting, and not all the food gets in the house.
We have a number of nurseries that are selecting new cultivars of Australian plants, and particularly grassland plants, and we actually test plant them here to see how they'll go with no irrigation and these cold winters by Australian standards and the hot dry summers. And so some of them die and some of them don't, and that's what we find out. So we're really interested in the grazing and getting the alpacas to work with us to actually manage the pasture lands that we have here, to gradually reduce a number of weeds and a number of introduced grass species, and to actually bring back and encourage all the native grasslands that are indigenous to this area.
I love the llamas, even when they eat my garden.
There's this wonderful synergy going on. We're using the alpacas and the alpaca poo to fertilise the vegetable garden, and the chooks to clean up the scraps, and chook tractor in the vegetable garden to clean up the pests. And in return we're getting this fantastic food. So we eat out of the vegetable garden for probably 7 months in the year.
Fresh asparagus.
Probably the key things I've learnt here is the relentlessness of nature, and if you can work with nature and natural systems to move things in a direction that you're trying to go, you're going to have a chance. If you try and fight, you're never going to get anywhere and you just won't succeed. I think you need a slow garden to discover what the site can actually give you.